Dexter Southfield Middle School Grammar. Today we are talking about the infinitive phrase. And again, to remind you, a phrase is a group of related words that is used as a single part of speech. It does not contain both a subject and a verb. And there are basically three types of phrases. There is the prepositional phrase, the verbal phrase, and the appositive phrase. We're talking about a certain type of verbal phrase today, and that is the infinitive phrase. Now remember, a verbal is a word that is formed from a verb but is used as either a noun, an adjective, gotta remember to get rid of that, an adjective, or an adverb. And there are three types of verbals again, and of course today we're talking about the infinitive. And the infinitive is a verb form that can be used as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. And that might be a bit confusing that it can be three different things. But luckily for us, there's this great trick. Most infinitives begin with the word to. So look for this. Take a look at these sentences. To run the race is my goal. So the infinitive here would be to run. My goal is to run the race. Again, to run. I like to run. The best time to run is before sunset. I need to find a race to run. The athletes were ready to run, and they prepared to run. So you might wonder why I used the same example 7 times. The reason for that is the infinitive can be a bunch of different things. It can be a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. And I want to give you an example of how they all could be in a sentence. So take a minute right now, hit pause, and take a guess as to how each one of these is being used. In the first sentence, to run the race is my goal. To run is a noun. It's actually acting as the subject, and there's actually an infinitive phrase in the sentence, to run the race. And it acts as the subject. It is my goal. To run the race is my goal. Imagine if the race wasn't here. I think it would be a bit more obvious. To run is my goal. That's the subject of the sentence, to run. My goal is to run the race. Again, to run is acting like a noun, and again, this is an infinitive phrase. So imagine if this wasn't here. My goal is to run. Well, in this case, goal equals run. This is your predicate nominative. And then in the third one, I like to run. I like it. Again, it's acting like a noun. This is acting as your direct object. In the fourth one, the best time to run is before sunset. In this case, to run is acting like an adjective, describing the time. It's also an adjective in the fifth one, fifth one, and it's describing the race. It's also worth noting there's another infinitive phrase in there, or infinitive, I should say, and that's one acting like an adverb, I believe. In the sixth one, the athletes were ready to run. This is an adverb. It's describing what they were ready to do. And then it's describing the adverb, ready. And then, actually, that's an adjective. Yeah, it's an adjective. It's describing the adjective, ready. And then in the last one, they prepared to run. To run is, again, acting like an adverb, describing the verb, prepared. So, it can be a bunch of different things, but the key is just look for the word to, and if the word that comes after the word to is a verb, you know it's the infinitive. So, the infinitive phrase. The infinitive phrase consists of an infinitive and any modifiers or complements the infinitive has. The entire phrase, again, it's used as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. Take a look at these three sentences. The child moved to get a better view. Here's your infinitive, to get, and the infinitive phrase is to get a better view. And in this case, this infinitive phrase is acting like an adverb because it's describing the verb moved. In the second one, Boston is a good place to move my family. The infinitive is to move, and it's describing the word place, and so therefore this is acting like an adjective. In the third one, to move those boxes takes great strength. The infinitive is to move, and then it finishes with those boxes. In this case, it's acting like a noun. Specifically, it's the subject of the sentence. The infinitive phrase versus the prepositional phrase. So look at this sentence very carefully. There is a prepositional phrase in the sentence and there is an infinitive phrase. Take a minute and see if you can find the difference. I decided to move to a warmer place. Whoops, look, the word to is in here twice. so we need to be careful. To can be the beginning of a prepositional phrase. But if you're careful, you'll realize that to move is the infinitive, and then to a warmer place is a prepositional phrase. Now here's the key piece. The entire infinitive phrase is to move to a warmer place. The infinitive is to move, and the infinitive phrase is the entire thing. So you can have a prepositional phrase within an infinitive phrase. For reflection, write a quick note to yourself that describes the difference between a prep phrase and an infinitive phrase.